I never got the opportunity as a youth to be a Trek parent or a Trekkie. I missed that opportunity as a youth. I chose not to. I've always wanted to do it. It's been something that, as other people have shared with me and talked to me about going to Trek, something that I regretted not doing as a youth. And when we were asked to do it, I was thrilled, and I knew that the challenge would bring great blessings to us.
They came off really nice, and you could tell that they wanted to be there, and they were like really involved, and I liked them.
I think my first reaction was my pa kind of looks like me a little bit. Yeah. And then, I don't know, they were really nice. I love my mom and pa and my aunt and uncle.
But as each child came and sat down, I had a bond almost instantly with them. I found out who they were and their ages and their names, and the love just grew from there. They're great kids.
Oh, I love them. They're so great. It's weird because I didn't think I was gonna call them Ma and Pa, but I found myself calling them Ma and Pa. So they're just really loving and caring and awesome.
I felt honored to do it, and I wanted to make the kids feel loved in their family, and to show them that we cared about them and that we wanted it to be a spiritual experience for them.
Because I've had the opportunity to do this, this will be the third trek I've been on in the past 12 years. I know the blessings that come as a result of taking the youth on this kind of an event. So I've sat back and I've watched, I've listened, and even tried to help people understand without having the experience. And I just know that it'll be a wonderful opportunity for our youth to participate again, because the Spirit's so powerful as we relive some experiences of the past.
I've also never been on Trek before, and I love, love, love the youth. And I go to girls' camp usually, and I haven't been able to go the last couple years, and so I was super excited to be able to do Trek with them. And I've always wanted to do it. We did it once when I was younger, but it wasn't like this. It was just handcarts and that was it. So I really was excited to do the full reenactment with them.
There was even members of my group who I knew initially that weren't even a part, wanting to be for this trek, who just felt that this wasn't for them or they were too cool for it. And as I saw their attitude completely change around as they reflected within their testimony, it showed that it gave a lot of positive input to them. It really changed their personality, and as far as their motive as of why they came to Trek, they really understood the true meaning of having compassion and having faith and courage like the pioneers did.
A long line of wagons waited at the cold, dreary, muddy Mississippi River at Nauvoo, Illinois in mid-February of 1846. The ferry was halfway across the river to Iowa, and 2 wagons and 4 oxen and an empty skiff was pulling in. It was a scene so picturesque and produced poignant that an artist could have dipped a brush in oil colors and produced a masterpiece.
Feather, symbol of power, great trust, honor, and freedom. Now I call upon your God to give you blessing upon you and your family, your herd, and your flock. May you prosper and have peace. Now, go in peace.
The children yelled to each other, and the sounds, some cheerful, some sad, floated back to those Mormons who remained behind in a city in panic and prayer.
Allow me to present myself. I'm Captain James Allen of the U.S. Army. I'm here under special orders from James K. Polk, President of the United States. As some of you may have heard, we have just declared war upon Mexico. President Polk is very concerned about your journey westward. He has authorized me to come here and present you men the opportunity to volunteer to serve in the U.S. Army as part of the Mormon militia. Lieutenant Baker, take charge.
December 6th, 1846. My baby is sick and getting worse. Has cried all day, but I cannot see what ails him. December 12th, 1846. The baby is dead, and I mourn his loss. We have done the best we know how for him, but nothing has done any good. He continued to fail from the time he had taken sick. My sister Caroline and I sat up with him every night and tried to save him from death, for we could not bear to part with him, but we were powerless. I still have friends who are dear to me. If I had not, I should wish to bid this world farewell. Eliza Lyman.
At the last day, last couple hours, we ended up finding out that the baby suffered from pneumonia and died, and so we ended up having to bury her.
They started talking about how on the real Pioneer Trail, how a lot of the people that died were children and infants, and they told us that ours died. And everyone was really sad, and one of the girls in my family started crying. And
the way I had to bury the baby was kind of sad, because I had to put her down and it seemed kind of real.
Yeah, it was really sad. By that time, we all bonded with her a lot, and I didn't want to give her up, no. I don't know, a lot of people bonded to her as if she was an actual younger sibling of ours, and you imagine how hard it would be to actually give up a real sibling.
Those pioneers, they were real people. They had the same kind of emotions that we do. Some of them got angry, and some of them found it, it to be a wonderful blessing to them in their lives. And, it wasn't easy, and so usually when things aren't easy, it doesn't always bring out the best in people. And so for some, For some of our youth, this will be kind of a small test of, you know, kind of what's inside them. You know, when things get difficult, do they murmur, or do they patiently kind of turn to the Lord and seek for guidance and answers?
But just such a young soul with not much to live for yet, having to go so soon, it was a very emotional experience. And to think for myself right now as a teenager, but for when I'm a father, that would be something that would hit me very hard.
The baby obviously wasn't real, but the experience of having to bury the baby was so real, because I just can't imagine having to bury like my son or daughter or brother or sister. Like, I can't imagine going through that.
I want them to recognize and obviously have a good spiritual experience, but recognize what the pioneers went through and their struggles and what it meant for them to have made it. And if they could just get a piece of what they went through, I think it would be a success.
A stronger testimony in our Savior. To know that He loves us and has loved us forever. He loved the pioneers, and He loves us and helps us through our challenges, just like He helped them through theirs.
You know, some people who allow the Lord to guide them and lead them and direct them, they'll find that an event like this will certainly strengthen their testimony and help them be converted.
The testimony meeting was really awesome. Like, I can't even think of a better word. It was so spiritual to have everybody go up there and share like how Trek had strengthened them. And
you know, I think the Trek will impact youth, at least the experience from, I've only done one Trek before, but to see those youth that were on that Trek change just in the 3 or 4 days that we had the Trek, and then to see them week in and week out as I go to different wards. I've now seen a couple of them come back from their missions, and I don't know if Trek changed their life to the fact that that's what made them go on their missions, but I see them come back young men of God.
you could really feel spirit and tell that everyone had a good experience. It was like you could tell and hear from people that they had a good time.
I learned a lot from it, and I really grew close to everybody.
An amazing experience, and I never thought it would be as good as it is, and I love everybody here, and it's been awesome.